welcome to the show. Claim some needles that I don't know where they are and to reclaim some project bags. I have a mound of bags behind me that we will be going. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Knit, Knot, and Weave podcast. My name is Dorothy, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm coming to you from Columbia, Maryland. You can find me on the internet on Instagram as Knit, Knot, and Weave, and you can find me on Ravelry as Phelia, which is Pheelya. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I so appreciate that you come back and see me. And if you are a new viewer, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming to check me out. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I hope you enjoy any of my back episodes if you still choose to watch them. So, I guess we should get started with what I'm wearing. This is a very old shawl. It is Tara by Jared Flood, and it's knit with Blue Moon Fibers BFL that I picked up at one of my first sheep and wool festivals that I went to. It's very nice, a simple triangle shawl. The BFL is nice and cozy and warm. And I have a little cuff that I bought from an Etsy shop, and I don't remember the name of the shop, but I will link it in the show notes below, because what's nice is you can go back on Etsy and review your purchases, so I can get you guys that information. And just a nice little cuff that keeps the shawl on my shoulders. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to do my usual FOs and whips and stash acquisitions and things like that. This is going to be a whip parade and a UFO landing. So I don't know about you guys, but when I finish projects, I sometimes tend to leave the extra yarn and the needles in the bag, and I get so excited that the project is done that the bag just gets put aside, and then the project gets blocked, and then I get to wear it, and then I forget about everything that was in the bag until I either run out of bags, project bags, or I run out of needles in a size I need. So about once a year, I go through my house and I collect all my project bags into a big pile, and I just start cleaning them out, figuring out what still needs to be finished, what project is so old, what am I going to frog, that kind of stuff. And I reclaim my bags and the yarns and the whatnots. But do you guys do that? Do you, when you finish your project, do you are you the type to immediately clean out your bag and put everything away so that bag is ready for a new project? Or are you like me, where you just have way too many project bags and too many needles? And so you just put it aside, grab a new project bag, grab a new pair of needles, and just keep going. Let me know in the comments below. Are you like me? Do you have project bags all over the house that you need to gather and clean out once in a while? Or are you a monogamous knitter that, you know, you work on one project and one project alone until it's done? I sometimes I wish I could be like that, but I think my ADD kicks in, and since I tend to enjoy making blankets and large projects, I get bored with them and I need some other things to just keep me going. I have a lot of bags to go through today. Some of you may have heart palpitations as I go through all my bags. I couldn't believe how many bags I had to go through. But anyway, it's been a struggle with COVID. I don't think I've done this in a while. On that note, let's get started with this parade. So some of these bags may have just some yarn in it left over from projects so that I can just reclaim the needles. Others may actually have projects in them. So I have a bag here next to me that I got from Webs. It says I love yarn, and this is where I'll be putting all of my yarn scraps that I find in my project bags. So here's a project bag that I made, my little cute chili penguins. I have no idea what's in here. Let's see. Oh, there's a pattern. That's a good sign. Oh, yes. The mermaid tail. I must have started this quite a while ago. So this is a paid for pattern. So that's all I'm going to show you. So this is about as far as I've gotten on it. I don't remember why I started this or who I was starting this for. But this was made with Premier Sweet Roll, which kind of looks like it's seen better days. But I cannot remember why I was making this. So I'm thinking they make get frogged. But I have to say, Sweet Roll makes some nice soft something or others. So I guess this will go in the frog pile. My next project bag is my favorite, Betty Boop. This is another one I made many years ago. And there is only yarn in here. Ah, I made hats with these yarns. This is Karabella's Aurora 4. So, yarn that's been reclaimed. And one project bag that's now empty. Yay! Here's another project bag that was one of our retreat bags that one of our members made for everybody. And there's a pattern. This is a crocheted pattern. This is a cowl. I can't remember. Oh, this is the Calm Cowl by Indigo Dot. And I believe this is a free pattern on Ravelry. The yarn I'm using for this pattern is SMC Select Extra Soft Merino color. And the color is color number 05288. And I think I stopped working on this because this is supposed to be a double. You're supposed to be able to double this, and I don't think this is going to be quite enough to double around my neck. So I think that's why I have stopped working on this one. But I kind of like how the yarn's coming out. But I don't know. I'm wondering if it'll stretch some if I block it. I don't know. This is going to be put on this side. We'll see if I'm going to finish this one. My next project bag, it's not really a project bag. It was a bag that I bought from Blazing Needles when I did my cross-country trip. And what's in here? Oh, another pattern. Oh! This is back when I used to do craft shows. I was planning on making a Viking hat. And I was using a crochet hook, a 5mm, which is an H, and I didn't get very far. So I'm thinking this can be frogged. Here's a 31 bag. These were great bags. These were only like $5. Oh, I know why I stopped doing this one. This is the Havana shawl by Tina, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name. I was using a 4mm G hook, tulip hooks. These were my favorite hooks before I tried the Furls hooks. And I was using 1 skein of yarn. I believe this was from AC Moore. And so I was using the outside and the inside to make the striping. And I really like how it was coming out. And I think this was put aside because I was afraid that as we got on, I didn't even realize this, that towards the end, it would all be very light. And I can't really frog it because when you do mosaic crochet, you start on the same side for every row. So every single row in this is cut. But it is pretty. So I don't know, maybe I'll find a different one. Maybe I'll go on with this until I get to all the weight. Maybe I'll see if I have something different in my stash to continue on. This was given to me as a Christmas gift. I think it was a Christmas gift. It was Christmas or birthday from my friend Joan. Lavender. I love lavender. Another 31 bag. Oh, this is my Ziggy Interrupted. And I finally got all the tassels on it. These were fun. So this is actually a finished object. These tassels were actually just finished last weekend. I had a little girls trip weekend, and a bunch of us did an Airbnb. We've done this now for, I want to say, about 10 years now. We go away for President's Day weekend, and it's just a relaxing weekend for us to reconnect and laugh and knit and crochet and just relax. So I brought this with me and I finished up all the tassels. So now this is officially a finished object, which means I can reclaim all these minis. And these will probably go right into some other scrap projects that I'll be showing in just a little bit. So I'm going to put this in my scrap bin down here since these are all minis. So next up is a very old bag. This is from Sanguine Griffin. Unfortunately, she is no longer dying, but I have a whole bunch of little projects in there. So this was actually a gift from a, what are they called? A swap. Oh, this was another crocheted hat I started. I did not get very far, but and this is made with Patons Alpaca blend. And I think I might frog this and reclaim the yarn. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, what's next? Lovely little handy project bags at the last minute. A hat with only one pom-pom. I think I have more of this in my stash, and maybe that's why it's over here, because I needed to open it to make another pom-pom for the hat. So that I'm going to put aside, and if not, I'll take the pom-pom off. And then I have this yarn that I got from a yarn swap. I don't know what yarn this is. It's a pretty yellow. It's soft. I'm thinking it might be maybe a cotton and acrylic blend. I'm not quite sure, but I'm using size 4mm US size 6 needles. So I'm guessing it must be like a sport light DK weight. It has some nice stitch definition to it. So I think I might continue this and just put it in my donation bag. Oh, this is my Ireland bag with all my sheep. I have no idea what's in here. Oh my word. So it looks like it's a finished project. Oh, I know what this is. This was the Herringbone Button Cowl by Little Monkey Crochet. So I have it done. I just need to put buttons on it. Why haven't I put buttons on it yet? Okay. Well, an almost finished project. Another 31 bag. We had one of my friends, Judy, was always having 31 parties. And these bags were, I think, like $5. They make nice project bags. And it looks like it's all filled with leftover yarn. Oh, wait, I see something. Yarn. What are these? Oh, circular stitch holders. Not sure why these are in this bag. Oh my God. Little duck buttons. Pattern. Oh, I know what was in here. It was my Get Your Fade On shawl. This was a fun pattern. If you like to do brioche, this is a fun pattern. Well, these are all sock yarn scraps. Yes, another 31 bag. And yarn. Yarn that was from Neighborhood Fiber. This was a cowl kit. I made the cowl and I have all this left over. I could probably make a second cowl with it. So, more yarn. And lastly, we have my Naughty knitting sack. I love this. My skeletons on the outside and my naughty skeletons on the inside. This whole lot of stitch holders. I know it was in here. My Stephen West pattern. Oh, look, Sock It To Me. If you don't have this, this is a great reference to have, especially if you're knitting socks for other people, because it has women's sizes, men's sizes, and infant and children's sizes. It's called Sock It To Me. And it tells you, you look up what size shoe the person wears, and it tells you how many inches to make the foot. So I obviously can't share it with you because it's a paid for thing, but what's nice is it has a ruler along the side, so you can even use this in case you don't have one in your knitting bag. And then these are all my leftover yarns from my last Stephen West pattern, from my last Vertices United shawl that I made. My little cozy, Knitting Notions. I've bought a little mini cozy. Oh, a hair scrunchie. More knitting cozies. And now an empty project. So this is another 31 bag. This is a big bag. I think I know what's in here. I think this was from, again, when I was doing craft shows, I was making, animal hats. And I'm halfway through some of these. So this is my koala. Oh, this will become a dog. Another koala. This will be a monkey. I think this one was going to be a llama. I don't know what the pink one was going to be. My Grinch. Didn't like the way it came out. Ah, my Cookie Monster. And I have his eyeballs already done in here. So these just need to get sewn on. And then I think I ran out of yarn on that hat. And this is just all the acrylic yarn. This is all the acrylic yarn I use. Ooh, excuse me. This is a little leaf coaster I was testing out. The pattern, I was thinking of putting these in on our retreat bags one year. Never did get around to making them all, but they're really cute. Yep, this is all the acrylics for these hats. Here's a Lila Styles bag. My little Hocus Pocus bag. And some Brooks Farms Solo yarn. Pretty purple. I think I made a hat out of that. So that's just leftover yarn. And another empty project bag that can be reused. This is a bag that I don't know where I got, but I thought it made the cutest project bag. It's a little Japanese or Asian, I should say. I don't know which one it is. And there's just yarn in here. I think I pulled out whatever it was I was working on. So, another project bag reclaimed. Here's another. This one I bought on Etsy. I don't remember the vendor, but I'll look and put all the links down below. My little library cards, because, you know, I'm a librarian. I have to have library cards. Oh, this is all the leftover yarn from my portage. And needles. And more needles. And a needle holder. There's a lot of yarn left over from this shawl, from this cardigan. I could speak this evening. So I'm going to leave all that yarn in there and reclaim this project bag later. Now here's a project that has been sitting around for quite a while. It was, oh, let me see. It was a Lion brand pattern, and I really liked it because it mixed different patterns in a block, and you were supposed to make 6 blocks, but some of the stitches like would pull in, and so they really needed to be blocked and stretched, and I just never did it. And then I lost interest, but I have 4 blocks. But you see how those black, listen to me, those blue and red stripes kind of pull in and they look shorter than the brown strip? That's the pattern. I don't know if it'll block out. This was all made with Cascade 220 Superwash. And I'm thinking I should block these all, at least see if they will come out to the same size, and if those weird areas will block out nicely, and maybe just put it together and make it a baby blanket. because I don't think I'm going to knit 2 more of these blocks. What do you guys think? Should I just put it together and make it a baby blanket? Let me know in the comments below. This is one of my witchy Halloween bags. Another one that I also made. And the inside, I have skeletons, just not fornicating skeletons. It looks like I have leftover yarns in here. Oh, these are my highlighter socks. My red and black stripy socks that I finished. And I'm already losing my needles. What else is in here? Oh, more yarn. More needles. And more yarn. Okay. Another project bag reclaimed. Another 31 bag. I'm telling you, these were popular in my knitting group. Oh, this is actually not my project. I believe I told the story. I had a very good friend that was an excellent knitter, and she passed away a number of years ago. And she was a very prolific knitter, and it's actually her yarn that I used for my portage. But this was one of her projects that she had started when we were cleaning out her room. I believe it's the Spectra by Stephen West. And I know I have the pattern somewhere, but I need to finish it. I'm just hoping that I can get the same gauge as her. But, so, this I definitely want to finish. I'm just hoping there's enough purple to finish it, because I don't even know who these dyers are. These were, I think these are Namaste bags. And I think I saw, I know Namaste went out of business, but I think I saw Maddie on We Share Needles say that somebody else has now taken over and is making these mesh bags, and they're selling them on Jimmy Bean. I just haven't had a chance to check, but these are nice bags too. Oh, more sock gauges. I've got the adult, the child, and the baby. These are nice to have too. Ah, Katrinkles. This is my make one right, make one left. I love this because I can never remember. Of course, there's always the saying, I've left out the front and I'll be right back. And that's supposed to tell you which way to lift. But I always get that confused because I'm not sure if I left out the front, if I'm supposed to lift from the front or knit through the front. One of these days I'll get it. And this looks like it's all leftover yarns from some sock projects from last year. Ooh, I'll get to reclaim all my knitting condoms, my yarn condoms. I'll get all my yarn condoms back too. Here's one that's empty. And 2 Afghan hooks. I don't know, I must have been practicing something. I don't know what, because I don't remember. Another one of my yarn bags, project bags that I made with the Alice in Wonderland theme. Oh, and this was my hat that I need to finish. This is one of my patterns, and this is the pattern that I had all written out, including the decreases for the top so that it didn't mess up this braid, and I can't find it. But it's being made with I'm holding Miss Babs Moonglow, which I believe was, yes, the Maryland Sheep and Wool colorway from last year, along with this pretty color from my stash. And this is, I think it's Anzula yarn. It's their sport or DK weight base, and it's got cashmere in it. So that's a project I will be finishing. Oh my goodness. I had this all planned out that I was going to mark down all my works in progresses so that I knew at the end of the show how many whips I had. Let me take a second right now and count them. Okay. So far that's 7 projects I need to finish. And I didn't bother to go back through all the animal hats, but I do have a little section that says several animal hats. My next bag is a Della Q bag, and it's filled with other project bags. So this was another one of my Alice in Wonderland bags that I made. And I have needles. Oh, these are Prim needles. So I don't know if you can see the tips on those. My girlfriend Andy suggested these to me because she said she really liked how they worked and how they made her hands feel. And I tried them once, and I don't know, there was something about that tip that was kind of screwing me up. But I'm wondering if maybe it was the yarn too. So I might give these another go before I give them away. And then more, oh, Elann's yarn and paint box yarn. I think I was making some sort of baby hats. Two more things in here. Another project bag reclaimed. This was a project bag I made quite a while ago. Yes, I'm very into skulls. Oh my. This is an old project. I think this would constitute as a UFO. This was started probably, let me see, in 2012 is when this pattern was printed out. So, and it's all marked up, so it's been a while. And this is the Flaming June cardigan, and it was a knitty pattern. And I'm obviously on the sleeves. And I made it in blue and green. It was in my stash. Oops. And I made cute little different details on the edge of the sleeves. This is made with a cotton yarn by Elann, which I don't think they are producing yarn anymore. And this is the body. And I think I stopped working on this because I gained weight. But now that I've lost a lot of weight, I should try it on again. So it is Elann's Lara. And it's 100% combed cotton. So this I will try on, and maybe I'll have a new sweater for the spring. Okay, so 2012, I think this is officially my oldest project so far. Can you tell we have a lot of 31 parties in my group? Another 31 bag. Oh my. This was supposed to be an outfit for my niece's American Girl doll. And it was meant to be a traditional Italian outfit from my parents' hometown. So this was the skirt. And the yarn I'm using is Loops and Threads Wool Like. And this is basically the look I was going for with the doll. So I was using that skirt pattern, except I was using the colors of our traditional outfits from Italy that time. The apron was going to be all white, and then the blouse was going to be white, and then I had to make, I was still trying to find a black vest pattern for a little doll, but I think this might get frogged because neither one of my nieces really plays with their American Girl dolls anymore. But it actually, for an acrylic yarn, it does feel kind of nice. So I think this might be in the frog pile. This is another 31 bag in the purple. This is my Maryland hat. Remember now, somebody saw this hat and took a picture and sent it to me and asked me if I could make a pattern of this and make a hat for them. And so I made the pattern, except I made it originally I made the pattern with worsted weight yarn. And I wanted to see if I could do the same pattern, but with sport weight. This is sport weight, right? Yeah, sport weight yarn that I got. Well, it's from Hobby Lobby, but I think I picked it up at one of our yarn swaps. And so I was trying to work that same pattern with the sport weight yarn to see how much smaller it would be. Because I can't really, I wish I had a finished hat of this pattern, but I don't. I sold them all at my last sale. I can't really finagle the numbers in the chart because otherwise it messes up the whole like look of the hat and the flag. What makes the this hat is it's like the Maryland flag. So I think I'm going to keep working on this just to see how it'll look in sport weight, and then I'll put the pattern out. But that was my first color work design. And these, one of my nieces, my oldest one, Gabriella, had picked out this beautiful sweater pattern that she really wanted. It had some cables in it, and it required sport to DK weight. And she wanted it in a blue. And so I had bought one skein of all these colors for her to choose, because you know sometimes you can't really see what they look like online. And I made swatches with all of them so that she could see and feel the material of them. And she really didn't like any of these yarns. So these will just go and be collected in the yarn pile. And then here's an acrylic. Oh, Debbie Norville's Everyday. This is really nice acrylic. Make great children's hats. Great little kids' hats. And then tissues. Oh, and lavender. I love my lavender. It's about one of the scents that I can actually deal with and it won't trigger my migraines. What else do I have in here? The doo-wop shawl. I never did make this. I'm sure I still have the yarn in my stash. It was mosaic knitting. So I'll leave that up here. So another bag empty. Woolalooya. don't know how I found this one, but I found it on the internet. My Katrinkle sock ruler. You could tell I was heavy into socks, huh? Oh, the photographer's hat. I must have made that at some point. Needles! Needles! I love when I find all my needles. Another project bag. Some more yarn. Another stitch marker. And another empty bag. So more leftover yarn. I made a hat with this one. This was the old Dragonfly Fibers. This was her Pixie base in the cognac color. And it's getting way blown out. Unfortunately, they don't dye this color anymore, but it really is a very pretty warm orange color. And I'm not much of an orange person myself. But it's fingering weight, so it's going to go in the scrap pile. And then I don't know what this is. Oh! Elann, this is part of your Christmas gift. Well, your birthday's in another month, so I guess I'll get it to you for your birthday. That's where that thing went. Oh, that's so bad. Here is another project bag. These were, I think these were Namaste too. Or were they Delicue? No, I think these were Namaste. I can't remember. The bags had all the sayings on them, random projects. What is... Oh my God. Now you know it's really, really bad when you have an unfinished project and it's not even yours. This is not my project. Melissa, this is your project. I thought I gave this back to you. Do you remember this, Melissa? I don't even remember the name of this pattern. But I think she dropped a stitch. And she gave this to me to see if I could pick it up. And it's made with Lacey lamb, which is a very, very thin lace weight yarn. Yeah, Melissa, this is coming back to you. I really thought I gave this back to you. Okay, so one project that's not even mine. Here's a Toad Hollow bag. We are the granddaughters of the witches that you were never able to burn. This is usually my sock knitting bag, so yes, it is socks. So here is a second pair of DK socks started. This is with Freckled Whimsy. It's their Serendipity DK. And no, I don't care if my stripes match or not because I knit from both ends of the ball. And it came with this really pretty purpley, I mean, it's not showing up, but it's like a purpley brown. And I did my toes with it. And I think there's enough left here to do the heels too. And then the other one is, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Shoot. I know this is on my project page. String Theory. That's what it is. String Theory. And I think I'm up to the heels on these. So, and they are on my lace chowgoos. I think these are size 1s or 0s. I can't remember. And these are on my signature needle, size 3. So these are projects I need to finish. Here's my Katie Did bags. I love this little bucket bag because it just goes boop, boop. And your project is inside. This is a crocheted shawl that I've been working on for a while now. And I'm running out of yarn, so I'm playing yarn chicken, hoping that I have enough to finish. And I'm using a size G hook. It's actually one size down from what the pattern calls for. And I do not have the pattern in here. I believe that the pattern is called Into the Whirl Shawl. But another one that I need to finish. This is another bag purchase. I can't remember. It was from Etsy. It was an Etsy shop. And it's my little witchy bag. And I believe my little boy, my boy Lolly, yes it is, my boy Lollipop. So here's the pattern. This is actually one of my Make 9s. And I'm using Lolabean Yarn, which is just beautiful. So I've separated for my shoulders and I've finished all the decreases. So I need to try this on to see if it's gonna fit, to see if it's gonna work right over my boobs. But that color is just stunning. I am doing helical knitting so that I can alternate skeins without getting any pooling, and so far so good. But I do need to try this on. So this is definitely a to finish project. Here's another one of, I think these were Delaque. But this one says Naughty Knitter. Ah, this is my muscle burr hat that I'm making. This is a fiber optics mini set that I had gotten from my friend and niece from her stash when we did her sale. I don't know if this was actually a complete set, like in all these colors, but she had a whole lot of these colors, these orange, yellows, and greens. And so I just sort of mixed them up and figured I'd make a muscle burrow with it and then put it in the donation box. So this is a to be finished. This is my Mardi Gras. This was also MDL, or I can't remember the... MLD threads on Etsy. I don't know why I still have the invoice in the bag. Probably because she doesn't have tags on her bags. But this is the sweater I wound up knitting for my niece with the yarn that her mom brought back from Italy. She, pre-COVID, my sister went to Italy with my parents, and they found a yarn shop. I don't know why they were looking for a yarn shop, but they found a yarn shop in their excursions, and they were going out of business. So she bought some yarn there and asked me to make some things, and we were going to try and use this color because this was closer to the color that my niece Gabriella wanted for that cable sweater, except this is Aran weight. And so it was definitely too thick. So I found this pattern and she really liked it, and was the, so it's the crossback sweater. And this is Titan wool yarn, and it's called Canada. That's actually the name of the base, but it's an Italian yarn. And I have all 3 pieces completed now. So this is the back. And these are the 2 fronts, or the part that crisscrosses. So these just need to be blocked. And then I need to pin them together and have Gabriella try them on, see if I need to maybe shorten the fronts a little, see, make sure they're not too open. And then once those are attached, I need to pick up and make the sleeves. And I was actually thinking in the back here, if she's going to wear it with the cross in the back, I was thinking of making some I-cord ties so that she could tie like a little bow in the back so that it doesn't keep falling off her shoulder. And I'm using my lick needles. I think that's how they're pronounced. L-Y-K-K-E. I think someone said they are, the way that's pronounced is lick. And they're very nice. These were a lovely, lovely birthday gift from my dear friends. They pooled their money together and got me a set, which I absolutely love. So this is a to be finished. It's another, oh no. This is another project bag, but it's housing all my needles right now. Oh, maybe one of these days. Let me know if you want to see a spread of all my needles. I have several different sets. I'd be happy to share them with you, but let me know in the comments if you'd want a video on all the needles that I have. Now here's another. Interesting. This one has a tag that says Stitch Red, but I'm pretty sure this is a Namaste bag. Interesting. So this is a soon-to-be project. Thinking this might be my weekender project. And the only thing I have is a swatch to see if the colors would blend nicely, because I didn't have enough of one color. And I think they blend rather nicely. The only thing is this sweater is made bottom up, and I've only got so much of this. I don't know where to stop and start, so it might not be the weekend sweater. Who knows? This is supposed to be my comfort fade cardigan when I get around to it, which again, I made the swatch for to see how the colors blend, and I definitely like it. These are definitely my colors. So this is definitely a to make pattern. Patterning here. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes. It is my hat pattern that I couldn't find. This is another reason why I go through all my project bags. I found my hat pattern. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Now I don't have to redo the decreases. I have my hat pattern. I will not lose it this time. And now we get to all my blankets. So these are all long-term projects. And we'll see when they get done, they get done. So first up is my granny stripe blanket. And I'm using a 2.75 millimeter hook, a C hook. And I'm using all fingering weight leftovers. I guess the easiest way to show you would be to have it folded. But every row is a different skein. And once I use it in this blanket, if there's anything left over, it goes in the next blanket I'm going to show you. And if there's anything left after that, it goes back in the scrap bin for another project. But it's a good start. This was started around Christmas time, I think. So, and here's the other scrappy blanket. This one I am using the Furls crochet hook in a 5mm size H. I love these crochet hooks. Don't ask me why I'm keeping it in the box. I'm strange that way. But, whoops. This one I am holding the yarn double. So it's marling, and I am holding, so 2 different colors, but every row I switch one of the colors so that the color is used for 2 rows, but it's never the same 2 colors, if that makes sense. So like my last row was green and this brownie gray, but the brownie gray I had used in the previous row, so I cut that and I'll add a new one and do one more row with this green, and then I'll cut the green and add that way. I hope that makes sense. But it's the linen stitch. And it makes a nice solid blanket for a crochet blanket. No real holes. And it's rather cozy. So I have 3 scrap blankets. This one is the Blattenberg blanket, and it's also crocheted, making all these tiny crocheted squares. So technically, all my scraps would make these crocheted squares first, and then if it was left over, it would go into the granny stripe blanket. And I think 1 row in the granny stripe takes between 7 to 8 grams of yarn, of a fingering weight yarn. And then the linen stripe, the linen stitch blanket, I believe uses the same amount of fingering weight yarn, 7 to 8 grams per 2 rows. But I'm done making all these squares. I think I have something like 700 and something squares. There's a couple more that I need to weave in the ends for, like these. I have a bunch of these that I need to weave in the ends for. And then I need to start making the white squares, because the Blattenberg blanket is kind of like, if you think of a checkerboard. So it's a white square, colored square, a white square, colored square, a white square, colored square, and it alternates. So yes, that was my first long-term scrap blanket that I started during COVID. Was it during? Yes, I think it was during COVID I started it. So 2 years ago. And I have all the colored squares completed now. I was collecting all these minis because I had every intention of making the sock blanket, but that never happened. And then I found the Blattenberg blanket, and I just absolutely fell in love with that pattern. And so that's what I turned all those little exchanging of fingering weight yarns into. So I think I have about maybe 20 to 30 more in this tub that I need to just weave in the ends. And then I need to get started on the white squares. Then in my Maryland sheep and wool bag, I have another blanket that I'm making for someone in my family. And they're all these little squares. I can't share exactly what blanket this is going to be, because I think this person watches my podcast. I'm not sure. But I have all the colored squares completed. I now need to make, I think it's like 6. Let me see if I have the, no, the pattern's not in here. But I think I need to make about 65 gray squares and 80 black squares. And then I get the fun job of putting these all together in a certain way. But I think this person's going to really, really love this blanket when it's finished. I am using my Furls crochet hook for size H as well. This is Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn acrylic. I'm not a big supporter of Hobby Lobby, but unfortunately they do have nice yarn, but I will only buy it when it's on sale. Now the second to last blanket is almost complete. This has been a labor of love for me because I hardly have any blankets that I've made for myself. But I love the Jan Eaton's soft wave pattern. And there was one year I had surgery over the summer. And I think it was the year that the Babette blanket came out. But at the time, the Quaigu yarn, I think it was Quaigu. The Quaigu yarn that the pattern called for was a little bit too steep for my price, but I went on a rampage and tried to match colors using Cascade 220 Superwash. And I made a couple of squares in the Babette trying to match the colors, but it didn't have that same appeal to me. I think it was because of the tonal coloring that happens with the Quaigu yarns that, you know, when you use it in all solids, it just didn't have that same appeal to me. So I decided to do the Jan Eaton Soft Waves blanket. And for all intents purposes, the blanket is done, but I wanted to do a nice edging all the way around in a couple of different colors just to sort of polish it all off. But here it is. And I'll try to get a picture of it all laid out on my bed, and if I can get it before I post, I'll put it up here. And then I had a whole lot of Cascade 220 Superwash left over because I went a little crazy in buying all these different colors that I liked. And so I had a whole lot left over. So what do? I start another blanket. And I cannot remember the name of this blanket. It's in a book. I know that. It's in a library book. So I don't even have the book. But it's another one of these wave pattern books, wave patterns, but the wave is a short portion of it, and then it just goes into stripes. And so I thought that would make a cute baby blanket, but I think I made it too wide for a baby blanket. I like my blankets big. I like my blankets cozy so that, you know, especially if I'm giving them away. I mean, these are for me, but if I'm giving them away, I want the blanket big enough to cover the person, you know, from head to toe and above, so that, you know, for some people, they like to tuck their blanket under their feet and keep them warm, and other people like to tuck their blankets all around them. So I like them to be nice and wide, and so I always wind up making blankets slightly wider than any pattern calls for. And so, considering this is almost the length of my wingspan, this is almost 5 foot, maybe 4 foot wide, 4.5 feet wide. So So this is another to finish blanket. And I believe that is everything. Unless there's a bag hiding somewhere in my house. And that could be possible. So, as we round up this episode, I have a whopping 4 projects that are going to be frogged. 19 projects that need to be finished. The question is, will I finish any of them before I start my next project? One project I need to give back to its original owner. And 8 project bags reclaimed. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the whip parade, the UFO landings, because I 2012. That sweater has been in a project bag since 2012. It's 2022. It's a 10-year-old sweater project. But it's going to get done. I think it's going to get done. I just have to finish the sleeves, try it on, and pray that it fits. And if not, it'll go to somebody. So it is coming upon the witching hour, I believe. Maybe not. It just feels that way. So that is all I have for you in this episode. I will be back with my regularly scheduled program next time. So I hope you are all doing well. I hope you are all being safe. I hope you're all having fun with your own knitting and crocheting. And how many unfinished projects do you guys have? I know some people are monogamous knitters and they like to knit one thing at a time, and other people get very bored and have several projects started at once. And some of us even have other people's projects. So, on that note, I bid you good night. I hope you are all well and enjoy life. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell next to it to get notified of any upcoming episodes. And I bid you good night. Ciao, ciao.